So let's just jump right into it. What would happen if bees disappeared? I mean, gone, vanished. It kind of sounds like the beginning of a bad sci-fi movie, right? But the answers are very, very real.
And I know what you're probably thinking first. Oh no, a world with no honey? Yeah, that would be a bummer. No more honey for your tea, no more drizzling it on your yogurt. That's the main problem, isn't it?
I mean, it's a sticky situation, for sure. But, we'd get over it. We've got other sweeteners. It's manageable. But here's the thing. Losing honey, that's just the tiny, fuzzy, yellow and black tip of a much, much bigger problem. Because forget honey for a second. What about a world with no coffee to wake you up in the morning? What about a world with no chocolate? No, I'm serious. No berries for your smoothie? No crisp, delicious apples? Okay, that is an apocalypse. Suddenly, this whole bee thing got really personal, didn't it? So let's get into why these little buzzing insects are, and I'm not exaggerating, holding our world together. To really get this, we have to look at the very first domino to fall in a world without that familiar buzz. And it all comes down to one simple, elegant, and absolutely vital process. And that process is pollination. Basically, you can think of bees as the ultimate delivery drivers for the plant world. They carry pollen from here to there, which lets the plant get fertilized and then make seeds and fruit. No delivery driver, no delivery. It really is that simple. So if that delivery service suddenly goes out of business, well, it's not just a few unhappy flowers. It sets off this massive, unbelievable chain reaction that would ripple through all of nature. And here's how it goes down. Step 1. A whole lot of plants just stop making baby plants. They can't reproduce. That means fewer plants, which means way less food, things like berries, nuts, and seeds for all sorts of animals. And when those animals go hungry, the animals that eat them go hungry, the whole thing just collapses. All because that little buzz is gone. The impact would be something you could actually see. The world would literally become less colorful. Those beautiful, vibrant meadows full of wildflowers, they'd start to fade. Our forests would be less lush. The whole planet would just start to look, well, kind of beige. Okay, so let's forget the wild for a second and bring this right back home to your kitchen. Because this big ecological disaster, it turns into a what on earth am I going to eat for dinner problem real fast. And the answer is not a whole lot. You can say goodbye to apples. You can say goodbye to almonds. Yep, your almond milk is gone. Berries? Nope. Coffee? Well, my entire personality just left the building. Chocolate? Okay, now this is just cruel. And a huge, huge chunk of the vegetables you love would become incredibly rare or just disappear. Your grocery store would look sad. Really, really sad. Just look at this contrast here. With bees, you get a beautiful, colorful plate of food packed with all the stuff that keeps you healthy. Without bees, you're looking at a pretty bland bowl of things like wheat, rice, or corn. Because see, those are pollinated by the wind. We'd survive, sure, but our health would take a massive hit from all the missing nutrients. And what about the few bee-pollinated foods that we could still get? Oh, you better believe they're gonna cost you a lot. So get this, bees provide hundreds of billions of dollars worth of free work for the global economy every single year. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. They are the most efficient workforce on the planet, and they do it all for free. If they're gone, we suddenly have to pay that bill. Of course, we could try to do their job. We could send people out into the fields with tiny little paintbrushes going from blossom to blossom. But can you imagine how slow that would be? And how ridiculously expensive? We're just not as good at it. A bee has been perfecting this for millions of years. Food prices would go through the roof. So if we can't do it ourselves, are there any other candidates for the job? Who else could step in as chief pollinator for planet Earth? Let's take a look at the applications. All right, first up, butterflies and flies. Strengths, well, they try their best. Weaknesses, they're super inefficient and, they get distracted by literally anything shiny. So, next. What about robo-bees? Strengths, they don't need snack breaks. Weaknesses, they cost an absolute fortune. They need to be charged, and we need billions of them. So, yeah, looking at the original applicant, the bee, they're looking pretty good. Highly efficient, free, and self-replicating. You're hired. Look, as much fun as it is to joke about a world without coffee, what this is really all about is connection. This is so much bigger than just losing one cute little insect. The bees, they're like the glue holding it all together. They're this critical link in the chain connecting wild plants to wild animals and our farms to our dinner plates. They're the perfect example of how the smallest creatures can have the most massive impact. And if you break that link, the whole system starts to fall apart. Which really leaves us with one last and pretty heavy question. All of this incredible life-sustaining work is being done for us right now, completely free of charge. Are we really ready to find out what the price is if they stop?